Today we are taking up sonnet number 106 by William Shakespeare entitled When in the Chronicle of Wasted Time. Now on the screen you find the text of the poem, and this is the modern version you have here in the simplified English, so that if you don't understand the old English you can go through this one. Now about sonnet number 106. 106 is part of William Shakespeare's collection of 154 sonnets, which were first published in a 1609 quarto. This sonnet is part of the Fair Youth sequence, a series of poems that are addressed to an unknown young man. The sonnets 1 to 126 are part of this sequence, and they have love, marriage, and intimacy as main themes. As the rest of the poems in the 154 sonnet collection, sonnet 106 is a Shakespearean sonnet. The poem has 3 quatrains, each stanza of 4 lines, and a final couplet, 2 lines. It is written in iambic pentameter, as most of Shakespeare's plays, and with an AB AB, CD CD, EF EF, GG rhyme scheme. Sonnet 106 looks back in time to a time recorded in the Chronicles, which the speaker reads. If we see closely, many of Shakespeare's other sonnets to the fair lord have looked forward in time, to a point when the fair lord will either be dead or will have lost his youthful beauty, but will be immortalized through the poetry of Shakespeare. Sonnet 17 is, in a way, a foil to Sonnet 106 by looking forward to a time when the poet's own work will be a chronicle of wasted time, asking, "Who will believe my verse in time to come if it were filled with your most high deserts?" Now, the bards of long ago were like prophets writing about a beauty that was to come, but which they could not see yet, other than how it was reflected in the most beautiful men and women of their time. Now we'll start with this poem, taking up the first quatrain. When in the chronicle of wasted time I see descriptions of the fairest wights, and beauty making beautiful old rhyme in praise of ladies dead and lovely knights. Now what is the poet talking about? He is talking about the historian's writing of what? Of time which has passed, of time which has been spent, which has been consumed. Now what does he see? If he looks at the descriptions of the historians, he finds what? Things written about the most beautiful people. Now whites is basically an old English word which stands for people, and it is a gender neutral word, meaning it is a word which neither stands for male nor for female. And beauty making beautiful old rhyme in praise of ladies dead and lovely knights. What do these chroniclers write about? They used to write about beautiful ladies, they used to write about brave knights. So the first stanza talks about chronicles of the past. The lyrical voice mentions that he reads old texts when in the chronicle of wasted time, and encounters great descriptions where he says of the fairest whites, meaning of the most beautiful people. Now a white is, as I said, it's a term that refers to people, and it's an old English word. Those depictions that the lyrical voice reads are of alluring people, meaning beautiful people, and beauty making beautiful old rhyme, such as dead women and knights, in praise of ladies dead and lovely knights. This first stanza sets the scene of the sonnet and serves as an introduction for the following quatrains. This sonnet, however, looks back in time, as I said, when knights used to be there, when ladies lived, and it was an era of romance and mystery at a time when chroniclers did the writing part and they wrote histories for posterity to read. The writers of past ages were aware through some sort of divination of a beauty that surpasses all others, yet they did not know the youth who was not yet born. Their songs, therefore, were mere prefigurings of his birth and glory, which now is appreciated, even though the present day poet lacks the skill to sing of him adequately. Then in the blazon, now the second quatrain. Then in the blazon of sweet beauty's best, of hand, of foot, of lip, of eye, of brow, I see their antique pen would have expressed even such a beauty as you master now. Now, what happens? Now, in the second quatrain, we see it relates the beauty of the past to the unknown young man. The lyrical voice realizes that these astounding descriptions. See the line? Then in the blazon of sweet beauty's best, of hand, of foot, of lip, of eye, of brow. Now, this description of astounding beauty can be correlated with the beauty of the young man and the possibility to depict his beauty. He says, I see their antique pen would have expressed even such a beauty as you master now. So, those people of olden times were expressing beauty, writing about beauty, but they did not know that such a beautiful person was going to be born ages later. This stanza expresses the similarity of the young man's beauty and the beauty found in antiquity. The lyrical voice looks back in time in order to realize that the young man's beauty could be also found in past stories, as it is eternal and not ephemeral. Look at the third quatrain. So all their praises are but prophecies of this our time, all you prefiguring, and for they looked but with divining eyes, they had not skill enough your worth to sing. So the third stanza furthers on the idea of the previous one. The lyrical voice says that those old chronicles are connected to the young man, as they are but prophecies of this our time, all you prefiguring, meaning the beauty of this unknown youth young man surpasses time and place. People, when they were writing historical chronicles, they knew, they were actually knowing about this young man who was going to be born later on, who would be so very beautiful. Nevertheless, the lyrical voice refers to the incapability of expressing this beauty in writing. He says, and for they looked but with divining eyes, they had not skill enough your word to sing. Meaning, they could see that such a beautiful person was going to be born, but they did not have the quality, they did not have those words with which they would express his beauty. The beauty of this young man is greatly idealized, as the lyrical voice suggests that these great writers of the past weren't able to refer to that particular beauty, even though they described other great characters. Coming to the final couplet, for we which now behold these present days have eyes to wonder, but lack tongues to praise. He says in the final couplet, he is just continuing the idea that the past is compared to the present. For we which now behold these present days, as both past and present can observe the beauty, like they have eyes to wonder, but they cannot successfully write about it. He says they lack tongues to praise. The lyrical voice refers to his own inability to express and to talk about the young man's beauty. Throughout the sonnet, the lyrical voice uses straightforward language in order to accentuate the meaning of his words, which express his inability to refer to the young man's beauty in his writings. The final couplet contrasts the speaker with the writers of the Chronicle, pointing out that although he has an advantage over them by having the fair lord to look upon, he can at least see this young man. Those people were only able to imagine him rather than to just imagine as he might be in the future. Still, he and the rival poets lack tongues to praise, meaning he is so beautiful that they don't have words to praise him. Now, if you look at the rhyme scheme, as I told you earlier at the beginning, you find that the rhyme scheme is just what it is in all the other Shakespeare sonnets. If you look at the first quatrain, you find that time and rhyme are rhyming with each other, whites and knights. So the rhyme scheme is it's A B, and then if you see the second quatrain, it is C, a best expressed, bro rhymes with now. So not exact rhyme, although. So we can say that the rhyme scheme here is A B, C D, and you take the third quatrain, it's E F, prophecies, eyes, prefiguring, and sing. So you have E F, and finally G in the final couplet, days and praise. So if you have any questions based on this sonnet, you may put it here and I'll answer them. Thank you.